I cannot get enough of the summer DIY decor. I've got more than 30 for you today. Gorgeous metal flowers. And then I've also got one of the stove burner covers that comes with a set of 2. And then I've got some reindeer moss, and I've got several packets of that I'm going to use. First thing though, before I forget, I'm going to put a hanger on the back. I've got this like kind of a ribbon from a gift bag, and I didn't want to waste it, so I just went ahead and glued it on, put some masking tape with more glue, and then I painted it black just to match the back. I'm going to use my Aleene's tacky glue, and I'm going to put it all over the inside of the stove burner cover. I'm going to use it where the edges are turning up towards me. And then I'll just use a foam brush and spread it out. And then I'm going to break down that reindeer moss. And let me tell you, it's messy. It just is. And I'm going to put it all over the glue, and I'm going to do that to the entire thing. Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain. Once I've got it all on there, I'm going to use this spray adhesive that I got at Dollar Tree just to kind of make sure there aren't little pieces that are going to fly off, because that happens with this reindeer moss. So I'm just going to spray it generously, and then I'm going to get out my heat tool and dry it off to make sure that it's not wet when I'm trying to work with it. I'm going to take the little hangers on those flowers and hot glue them down, because we're not going to use those on these. And then I'm going to figure out how I want to position the 3 flowers. Kind of wanted them to overlap and then hang over the edge a little bit. So I'm just going to use a generous amount of hot glue, and I'm going to place each flower on there. Take these little full flowers. I'm going to take a blue one, a pink one, and then these little teeny white, I don't know what they're called exactly. I'm just going to go ahead and hot glue the little flowers to the center of the flowers just to give them a little more interest. I wasn't super fond of the black circle in the middle of them. Dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes. And that's it. This one was pretty easy. A little messy, but very easy. Let me know what you think. Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain. Beauty in the mundane. I'm going to use the butterfly portion of that little metal piece, and then I've got this little cute rainbow sign. I'm going to actually use the back. So I'm going to use my heat tool from Amazon and get that thing off there. They can be very stubborn. And then I'm going to unscrew the hanger, because we're going to use the back as the front. So I'm going to sand it down, put a little bit of spackle in there, and sand it down again. Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain. I'm going to use my Agave Waverly chalk paint, which I love, and paint the whole thing. And then I got these wall tiles, and I think I got them at Target Dollar Spot. And I'm just going to put a couple of them on just to give it, a little bit of more interest. And I just love that because it's see-through in the clear parts, so you can see the agave color. I'm going to sand down the edges with my nail file. And then I've got this really gorgeous metal ribbon from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to cut it to size with my little nippers and hot glue the piece on. And then I use the side of a scissors to push the sides down. And I put one on each side of the tile. I ordered these really cool papers from Amazon that have like antique looking handwriting and stuff like that. So I figured out the size I needed by kind of rubbing down on the edge of that metal ribbon. And I'm just going to lay down some Mod Podge, and I'm going to set my little piece down and then put some more Mod Podge right over the top. I'm going to cover the whole thing actually in Mod Podge just to make sure everything is nice and sealed. And then I'm going to use my nippers again and just cut off those butterfly wings. I'm not really into fairies, so I decided to take that piece off. And I'm just going to hot glue this right in the middle. I position the wings up a little bit so this would lay flatter, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that right there, just at a slight angle, and I just like the way that looks. As the light startled our eyes. I got this packet from Crafter Square of these really pretty green and black and kind of lime colored butterfly stickers. And I'm going to put one right in the middle of the butterfly. And then I've also got this greenery. I believe I got this at the Target dollar spot also. And I'm just going to take 2 pieces, tie them around the stems, meeting together like a swag with some jute. And I'm doing that, 1, to hold them together, and 2, it gives me a place to attach something. And I put some more butterflies kind of randomly on the leaves. And then this one whitish flower, I'm just putting right in the middle. And then I'm going to hot glue the little swag down to each side of the sign. And I love this one. It's so mixed media. You'll have to let me know what you think. My husband really loved this one too. Are you guys into mixed media? Piece of metal. One side looks like a little bit of a chalkboard in the center with some seashells. And then I've got a couple pieces from a Dollar Tree rub-on transfer, another Dollar Tree sign, and then I've got some beautiful scrapbook paper. I'm going to sand off the glitter on the front of that sign, and then I'm going to use my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint and just paint the whole thing. Not a heavy coat, but just because I'm going to put scrap paper on it, I don't want anything to show through. And now I'm going to use my cutter from Cricut to go ahead and cut pieces of the scrapbook paper because it's too big for that sign, but I want to piece it so that there's like a border around the circle metal. I'm going to cut this plaid paper and make a stripe right down the middle. And I'm also going to put some on the very bottom, those little triangles that stick out. So I'm going to lay down some Mod Podge, attach all of those pieces I just cut. And I really like the way this pattern turned out. And then I use my brayer to make sure there are no wrinkles or bubbles, and I will also put some Mod Podge over the surface. And here I'm going to add that plaid down to the bottom, and I'm going to use an X-Acto knife to cut off the excess. I'm going to go over it again with my brayer because I just like to make sure it's flat. I'm going to take that round piece of metal, I'm going to use the back side, and put some hot glue down and just lay it there on the center. And then I'm going to take my rub-on transfers and I'm going to put the You Are a Wildflower above and then the other below, but it wouldn't show very well, so I put a little bit of the white paint over the top, kind of like a dry brush, and then some Mod Podge, and then I dried the whole thing. And now I'm going to lay down my rub-on transfer. And I'm just going to rub with my little wooden stick that I have until it's on there, and then I'll just very carefully pull it off and then keep rubbing if anything decides to stick. And after I do that, I always rub my fingers over the top to kind of burnish it on, so make sure there's no little edges sticking up that might get caught. And once that's done, I'm going to lay down some Mod Podge on that just to seal that in there. I'm loving how this is looking so far. It's so pretty. I've got these cute little blossom fern flowers from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to pull 2 little pieces with some of the leaves. I'm going to hot glue them together. I'm going to cover that hole in the metal sign with them. And then I'll take the third one, I'll just take the little flower bud part, and I'll put that right in the center with some hot glue. And that's it. Startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. This one turned out so pretty, and this is one of my husband's favorites. He really, really liked this one. And I love it too. You'll have to let me know what you think about it. Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain. And I never used them, so I came up with an idea finally. So this is another Dollar Tree metal hack. And then I've got these 2 long coastal signs that have the seahorse at the top. I'm going to end up cutting that part off, but I want it to look like wood planks. So what I'm going to do is hold my 2 signs together, position the windmill where I think I would like it, and then I'm going to use my square to cut a straight line so I know where I'm going to break them in half. Now I'm using this awesome handheld box cutter from Amazon. I love it. It's got a great grip. And I probably went over it 4 or 5 times, and then you're able to just bend it and it just snaps right off. Look at that. Talk about easy. So I did that to both of them, cleaned up the edges, and now I'm going to use some hot glue temporarily just to put them together while I secure them. So you can see that's just holding them temporarily. That would not be anywhere near enough. So I've got popsicle stick or craft stick scraps, and I'm just going to use those to reinforce the back. Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain. Beauty in the Monday. to take some jute and I'm just going to hot glue it to the back and make a hanger. And of course, I always use masking tape and then hot glue to secure it. This was kind of a long one, so I did 2 pieces, and that will keep that very, very secure. Startled our eyes, we let go. I'm going to take my white Rust-Oleum, well, linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to kind of dry brush and make this look a little bit distressed. And then I'm going to use my burnt umber. I'm going to mist over the top to make it wet, and then I will take that burnt umber and just kind of blend it in to give the wood a little more texture. I really wasn't too fond of the original color. There's nothing wrong with it, but I kind of like this better. And now I'm just going to position the welcome windmill on the top, put some hot glue, and that's going to go under the welcome part, and then right under the center of the windmill I will add a whole bunch of hot glue and make sure it's nice and secure. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our... I've got this ivy from IKEA. I've used it before, and I'm just going to cut a couple of pieces. I'm going to make it look like there was like an ivy vine just kind of hanging over the sign. So I put some on the left side that just goes up that whole side and a little bit over it. And then I'm going to take another piece and kind of drape it down on the right side so it hangs low, and that way it looks a little more like a natural vine growing. I love it. Let me know what you think. This metal ribbon, all from the Dollar Tree. I'll also use some florals. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little mini crate. I'm going to be using Aleene's tacky glue and hot glue to attach the pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is take the 5 pieces I have right here and put them all together like straight in a row. And I'm going to need to do that twice because those are the 2 longer sides of the mini crate. Now I'm going to take 2 pieces that I glued on top of each other and put one on either side of the 3 that I put together for the bottom. I glued those together off camera. Now I'm going to take the 2 sides that I created. I'm just going to attach them to the sides. I guess I'm lonely. I'm starting to grow old, and I thought my youth would last forever. I'm also going to reinforce with some hot glue on the inside. Now to give this that crate look, I'm going to take 2 blocks on each side and kind of stagger them a little bit. Now, so here I'm going to put a little bit on each side, and I'm going to take a block and kind of float it, you know, not touching the one below it. I'm going to do another one right above it, which will also not be touching that one in the middle. And that gives it that crate look where you can see through the sides. And I'm going to do the same thing to both sides. I've got these little wooden blocks from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put 4 of them on, one just inside of each of the corners there. You can see how I've done that there. And then I'm going to take the last 2 blocks and just glue them right to the top over those little blocks. And that'll give it like the handle for the little crate. Isn't that cute? I'm going to take the metal ribbon. I'm going to only put it on the long sides, so I cut 2 pieces. Then I'm going to spray with my mister some water on the little crate and then kind of whitewash it with my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. Now I'm going to take the little pieces that I cut of the metal ribbon, and I'm just going to hot glue both sides of it, or ends of it, to the 2 long sides of the mini crate. Easy for me to say, right? I love this as a little embellishment. And I've always got foam around from packages, so I just cut a little piece. I'm going to hot glue it right in there. And then I'm going to take these beautiful wildflowers from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut little teeny pieces off the pics and put them in there with some lavender until I like the way it looks. And I think this would look so cute on a tiered tray. Take me back to when we were kids and didn't care if we were acting stupid. You'll have to let me know what you think. I love little mini things. I just think they're so cute. This really pretty succulent, like hanging holder. I'm going to start off by making a square, and I like to glue the pieces inside of each other, and of course using the hot glue and the Aleene's tacky glue at every seam that I connect them. Once I have the square, I'm going to set a piece where the other two pieces meet on all four sides. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to just put it right where they meet there, and then turn it to the next side, put it right where they meet again, and I'll do that on all four sides.
I've been thinking about you more than ever. I guess I'm lonely. I'm starting to grow old.
Once I have those on, I'm going to take the last four pieces and just add them to the sides that are shorter, and that kind of looks like almost like a little pinwheel kind of a look. I'm going to make 3 altogether of those exact same things. Then I'm going to attach them together so that it makes a kind of a V shape. I wanted it to be slightly angled, and I'm just going to glue them all of the places where they touch. And I just kind of made up this design. Honestly, you can just play with the blocks and do whatever you like. That's what I did.
And I thought my youth would last forever. Take me back to when we were kids and didn't care if we were acting stupid, 'cause all we had was us.
Now that they're all attached, I'm going to use my mister and put it all over the front, and then I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to very, very lightly whitewash the whole top. I love that look. I just keep doing it. Then I'm going to take my Agave Waverly chalk paint, and I'm going to get my brush wet, and I'm just going to very lightly kind of rub the paint across to come out with a much lighter color of the Agave by blending it with the white, and I just think that's beautiful. Got a little sawtooth hanger that I'm going to put on there in the back. And then I've got 3 beautiful succulents from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use my tin snips, and I'm just going to cut the long stem off because it would just stick out in the back. And once I've got all 3 of them cut, I'm actually going to just hot glue them right to each of those centers of the squares, and that's it. This was so easy. And look how pretty it is. You could use any color you want, any kind of succulent or flower. You could even put a little moss around it if you wanted, but I decided to keep it simple, and I think it's just really pretty and fresh.
If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I...
Can't wait to put it in my home. Let me know what you think. Adorable metal happy sign, which is attached to a little piece of wood, and that's from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take my blocks. I want to make that base longer because we're going to attach something to it. So I'm going to use 6 of the blocks to make more of that stand, if you will. Then I'm going to make a hashtag out of the rest of them. And you'll just see me kind of playing with it until I get it exactly the way I want it. And then I'm going to go ahead and start attaching the base pieces to each other. So I'll do each set of 2, and then I'll put the sets of 2 together.
Think about you more than ever. I guess I'm lonely. I'm starting to grow old.
And you can see how it just kind of extends that other base. Now I'm going to attach the pieces of the hashtag. So first I will make the inner square, and I'm going to put them like inside of each other, if you notice, like so that they overlap. That's how I like to make little squares. They just come out nice and even that way.
And I thought my youth would last forever. Take me back.
Then I'm going to add each of the pieces all around the 4 sides. There's 2 on each of the 4 sides to create the hashtag. Or for some people, the pound sign, whatever you remember.
Back to when we were kids and didn't care if we were acting stupid, 'cause all we had was...
I'm going to take a screwdriver and I'm going to unscrew the little metal happy sign because I want to paint the base. I'm going to use my Agave chalk paint by Waverly. I'm going to paint the entire base and that other piece that is going to extend the base where it has the 6 blocks.
If I close my eyes.
Now I'm going to take my mister, I'm going to mist the hashtag, and I'm going to start off whitewashing it with my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint. And then I'll do both sides. And then I'm going to take the Agave and I'm going to whitewash over that. I just love that look. I think it's so pretty. I'm going to attach the happy sign back to the base by just screwing in the little screws. And then I'm going to attach the base to the base of the happy sign.
Honestly, I don't have no time to waste. I'm trying to come back to you because
And the last thing I will do is attach the hashtag to the extended base.
now I see we were meant to be.
And this is just going to say hashtag happy. And I think it came out so cute. You'll have to let me know what you think. I've never seen anything like it, so maybe it's an original. You never know. We're going to take a piece of the foam core board and this round wooden sign from the Dollar Tree, which I'm just going to use to get my circle shape. And I'll cut that out with my rotary cutter. I'm going to put a piece of tape, not quite in the middle, because I want to section it off, and I'm going to use my Waverly Ocean colored paint. It's a beautiful blue. And I'm going to paint down away from the tape and then just paint the rest of that whole bottom piece. Took about 2 coats. And the best part, taking the tape off. Look at that. Who doesn't love that? Now I've got this removable wallpaper from Amazon, and there's a link to my Amazon store down in the description box where you'll find most of my favorite things that I get there, in case you need them too. And I'm just going to pull the backing off a little bit on one end, fold it under, and then take the sticky part and line it up, and then slowly pull underneath to remove the backing. And then I'll get my brayer and I'll start smoothing it out. And that way there won't be any bubbles or wrinkles. And this really makes it nice and easy. You just do a little bit at a time. I saw this beautiful welcome sign on Pinterest, and I thought I could do something very similar by using the foam core board. Now there's excess going around on purpose, and I'm just going to cut little snips and then fold them over the back, because that's the best way to do it without getting weird little points. And then I have this coastal twine from the Dollar Tree. It's like white and twine colored. And I just wrapped it around several times where the blue meets the wallpaper and up at the top. And I've got this metal welcome sign from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put my Aleene's tacky glue on the back. And then I'm going to set that over the blue portion. And I love the way that just pops. I am going to wipe off all that excess glue. It does dry clear, but I don't want it to dull the shine on the welcome sign. And then I've got some beautiful florals from the Dollar Tree, and I just took some blue ones and yellow ones and the leaves that go with them, and I cut off the little ends and I hot glued them together and then positioned them just the way I want. You could do this any way that you want, whatever you like.
But smile, do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up.
You could get several signs out of one piece of the foam core board, so you actually can beat the Dollar Tree price by making, let's say, 3 signs out of one, so that's only $1.25 instead of buying 3 wooden rounds. So that's a great way to save money and get more out of it.
Favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along, and I can't help but feeling.
And when I wrapped that twine around, I left a little bit in the back to make a hanger, and that's it. I hope you guys like this one. Let me know.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know?
Goodwill. Gosh, it was last spring, I think. I spray painted it with Rust-Oleum's 2-in-1 paint and primer in the semi-gloss, and I did about 3 or 4 coats, just light ones to build up. And then I've got these little LED wire lights from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use those and these gorgeous flowers from the Dollar Tree that I've had for quite a while. And I'm going to use my snips, which are in my Amazon store linked below, to go ahead and cut all the little flower stems off, because I want to put them inside this cork holder. I'm going to turn it into a really pretty floral arrangement with lights, almost to look like a bird cage kind of, but not a bird cage. Does that make sense? This DIY is almost too easy. After I painted it, I'm literally just arranging the flowers inside. I'm not gluing them down so I can change them out seasonally if I want. And then I'm going to put the light inside, and literally, I mean, that's it. It's already got a hanger on the back to hang it up. And just imagine I could change out those florals or put birds in there, whatever it is. Fake birds, not real birds, obviously. And just hang it up. It's so cute. I absolutely love it. And honestly, if you can ever find one of of these. You could even use like one of the wreath forms from Dollar Tree, the ones like the football shape or the basket shape hanging planter. You could turn a lot of things into this. I know it's hard to find the exact items at thrift stores, but you know, just use your imagination and take inspiration from this. And that's kind of what I did when I found it. I didn't know I was going to be able to find something like this, but I'm loving how it turns out, and I've already got it up in my house. I'm super excited. I've always wanted something like this. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know if it's something you would maybe want to try, if you could find something that would work. And the last thing I'm going to do is just pull some of the flower petals through the cage and pull some of the leaves through so it looks like it's kind of overgrown. And I just love it. I didn't want them just stuffed and squished inside there. So to me, this really makes it look cute, like when they start to stick out a little bit. And that's it. Literally, this one is done. Transfer set from Dollar Tree, 3 little succulent containers and some votive candle glass containers. I believe everything here came from the Dollar Tree. And I just heated up the back to remove the tags, and I'm going to lightly sand all around the outside of my 3 little containers. I'm going to that Sage Home Decor paint, 2 coats to cover everything but the inside, and then I'm going to add a coat of Mod Podge to seal them. Now I'm going to look at the transfer and kind of measure and see what I want. I'm only going to do it on one side of the little containers. And they're actually going to be one sitting right side up and the other 2 are going to be sitting upside down. You'll see what I mean here. And of course, I'm just going to rub on the transfer carefully. And then as I remove them, I'll make sure that it's adhered. Otherwise, I'll rub a little harder and get the rest of it off. And then kind of rub it into the little container. And I'll do the same thing with all 3 of these. This particular rub-on transfer set is just gorgeous. I love the florals. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I would like to invite you to do so. I would be happy to have you here. So now that I've got all 3 of my containers good to go with the rub-on transfers, I'm going to put 2 of them together so the tops will be glued together, and they're so light I'm just going to use hot glue on these. You could use E6000 if you're concerned though. And they fit together very nicely. And then I'm going to take some very thin twine from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to wrap it around where the seam is, where they meet. That way kind of make it look more finished. And I'm going to wrap that around 2 times before I'm done here.
I remember you. I've been thinking about you more than ever. I guess I'm lonely. I'm starting to grow old.
Now I'm going to take the single one and I'm just going to wrap around right at the very, well, it's the bottom now, but it would have been the top. And there you go. Aren't they cute? And then I'm going to take some E6000 and hot glue combination so that I can glue those little glass votives right on top. And that is it. Talk about easy. And then I'm going to put some little battery operated little votive candles in there. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. And it would just look really cute on a shelf or on a tier tray, wherever you want. Let me know what you think. 2 items for the price of 1 at Dollar Tree. So I've got the salt and pepper shaker. I've got some really pretty lavender that I got at Pop Shelf. And then I've got some Dollar Tree twine ribbon, some coastal twine from Dollar Tree, a really pretty kind of mauve colored ribbon. And I didn't end up using the blue and white one after all. The first thing I'm going to do is take off the lids to the salt and pepper shakers. We will not need them. Now I'm going to take my kind of twine lace kind of looking ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to put it around one of them, kind of like I don't know, just below the top, and then I'm gonna do one more just above the bottom. You'll see in a second. And I just kind of put little dabs of glue here and there so that it won't slide around. And at the end I cut it. And now here I'm doing the second one. I'm doing the exact same thing. This ribbon is so pretty. I just love the combination of that kind of lighter color with the regular jute color. Now that I've got that on there, I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm going to just do one ribbon around this one. I'm just going to be doing it kind of below the top there. I'm just going to attach it the exact same way that I did with the other one. I love this ribbon. It almost like has a velvety feel to the top of it. I think I got it at Walmart. I can't remember. I'm going to take that coastal twine that has the twine color and kind of the off-white, and I'm going to put one strand around the top of that ribbon and one strand around the bottom. And I really like the look that it gave it. I think these are going to be super cute and very rustic. So there they are. And now I'm going to add a twine bow to both of them. I'm going to use that nautical or coastal twine from the Dollar Tree. Just going to put a little dot of hot glue in the back so I can tie my just very simple shoelace bow. And then I will trim the little tails on it on both of them and do the exact same thing. I'm going to put one higher than the other just to make them look slightly different. This could not be easier. Is this even a DIY? I'm not sure. But if you're looking for something super fast and easy to do, just add a little bit of decor. Could look really cute on a tier tray or next to something on a shelf. I just think this is so cute, and I love when things are this easy. You could just do them, you know, in 5 or 10 minutes. So easy. So I'm going to take some of that lavender. I'm just going to snip some little pieces, and I'm going to put them in the one, you know, salt and pepper shaker. And then I have another set of greenery that I got. It was off of a pick from the Target dollar spot, and it just thought it looked perfect with that pink ribbon. And I just put that right in there. That's it. We're done. You can't get easier than this. From the Dollar Tree. And the instructions are always on the back, by the way, but they are telling you to use fabric. So I figured it out using other surfaces when I needed to. And then I've got these 3 ribbons. They're all from the Dollar Tree and they match the colors. And this cute little house that I got at the Target dollar spot for $3. It's really cute with the little slats of wood. So I'm going to put my transfer where I want it, use the little iron, and go ahead and just do it for like 40 seconds all over, take it off. And then I'm going to cover the whole thing with Mod Podge because I just want to seal it. And I'm only doing that white part of the house. I have this cute jute ribbon from the Dollar Tree. It has a lace look to it. I'm going to cut 2 pieces that fit the size of the roof line of the house. And I'm just going to use some Beacon Fabric Tack glue to attach it right to the top. If you are enjoying this video, I would love it if you could hit the like button. Not only does it tell me that you like this kind of content, but it also lets YouTube know to show my video to other people, and that would be awesome. So thank you. Now that I've got the roofline on there, I'm going to take the 2 ribbons. One was kind of a sheer pink and one was like a green. I'm going to make a little awareness ribbon and then bring down the top to the center. And I'm going to tie in the middle with this twine. I thought that looked really cute on there. And I'm just going to tie a knot.
Gonna stay in this moment. Gonna lay here on this.
I'm going to take another little piece of that jute ribbon and I'm just going to cover the center with it. I thought that would look really pretty and tie it all together. I'm going to dovetail the ends of my ribbon and then cut off those pieces of twine that were left behind. I hadn't done that yet. I'm going to take some hot glue and put it right at the top of the house. So you could stop right here. Honestly, you could even not put a bow if you don't want to. You could stop at any point, whatever suits your decor and your desire. I'm going to add some of the greenery that I have on hand, just little pieces, and I'm just going to put 2 on each side. I thought that would be really pretty. Now, you guys know me. Sometimes I just need to stop, and other times I keep going anyway. I did do one more thing. You certainly don't have to do this if it's too much for you. But I added 2 more of those little pieces of greenery, tied them together with this twine, and then I'm just going to hot glue it to the center of the very bottom of the house.
I don't need to feel lonely. I am finally home at last.
And then I add a little pink rose, and I really love how it turned out. I hope you guys like it too. Like leopard spots or cheetah spots, not sure. And then Dollar Tree had this little teeny mini cutting board. I was so excited when I found it. I love working with cutting boards. I think you already know that. And then there's some Agave chalk paint from Waverly. I'm going to sand down that whole cutting board, every part of it. It was a little rough, actually. I'm going to take a piece of masking tape. You could use painter's tape, whatever you want. And I'm just going to put it diagonally across from one edge to the other. And I'm going to use the paint just on that one side. I'm going to paint downward from the tape. That way it won't bleed. And I'm going to do the edges that are there too. And then look, removing the tape, it came out perfectly. I'll dry it with my heat tool from Amazon. And I put the paper on top and the parchment paper and taped it down. And of course, you know, it didn't work again with the heat. It got it partially on there, but I have to use that little stick to rub it on. So it's funny, they're called iron-on transfers, these gold ones, but they're kind of like rub-on transfers. The other ones I used that weren't gold went on perfectly. You didn't have to do any like rubbing with the stick. But that's okay. It didn't take too long. I just went around, and once I realized it was working, I kept checking. Then I went ahead and I literally just pulled that off carefully. And look, it went on there. So cute. I think this is adorable. And I have such a collection of cutting boards. This will be a nice addition. Just kind of something whimsy and fun. And then I just pulled off those edges that were hanging over. I wasn't trying to have it on the sides, just on the front. And I also left the back of this one blank in case I want to make a two-sided one in the future. I'm going to go ahead and use my matte Mod Podge. I'm going to cover the whole thing, front, sides, and the back. That way it's just nice and sealed. I will only use this for decor though. Hey, I hope you guys will come visit me on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and TikTok. All the links are in the description box below. I am just going to add some tacky glue and put that white and gold twine. I'm going to wrap it around, kind of crisscross several times, and then I'll glue it on the back to end it and cut off the edge. I just thought it needed something around the handle. And that gold matches the little like cheetah spots.
Gonna stay in this moment. Gonna lay here on the grass.
Once I get that glued down, I am going to make a little teeny shoestring bow out of that same twine and just hot glue it right to the center of where I tied the crisscross twine on the top. And that's it. Super easy, and I think it just came out adorable. Let me know what you think. This beautiful plant stand. I'm going to have 3 groups of 10 and 1 group of 6. Now the way I'm going to do each group of 10 is I'll lay one down, put one sideways, lay one down, put one sideways until all 10 are in a row. And then I will take the tacky glue and the hot glue and put those together. So I will have 4 rows of those that are laying down and facing upward, if that makes sense. This just gives it a more interesting look, a little more textured, and maybe even a little boho. So this is going to be the 4 sides of the plant stand, or actually it's kind of a plant holder. And then I'm going to put them together. The 2 sides on one end will go inside of the 2 sides on the other end. It's just the best way to make it look nice without a weird kind of angled edge at the corners. And you can see I'm just assembling them here, and then I'm down to the last piece and I just put them on at the same time on each end. It's that simple.
Up in my bed.
I'm going to go in and reinforce some of the seams on the inside with the hot glue. Now I'm going to take the remaining pieces, and there's going to be 2 on each corner. So I'm going to put the first one right on top of it, and then I'll add some more glue on the next one and attach it to the base and then the side of the other piece that's there. And so with those 8 pieces, I'll do that to all 4 corners.
Wondering if you have cold. The sunlight at my face and leave a shadow on the wall.
And there it is. And it looks so cute just the way it is. You wouldn't have to do anything. But I'm going to take this little ribbon spindle thing. I'm going to cut off the edges on the bottom and rip off the entire top.
Falling down in disarray, 'cause there's no
And then I'm going to trace the circle onto a piece of burlap that I have. And I'll cut that out. And then I'm going to hot glue it to the very bottom. I want to cover up that ribbon spindle.
emotions in my head won't go away.
I'm going to take some of that scrap burlap and just wrap it around the edges as well. This is just creating a little piece on the inside for the greenery. In this case, it's going to be a succulent to sit. So it fits right in there perfectly, but I'm going to add some hot glue underneath on the bottom to secure it.
Climbing up a mountain, trying my best not
And then I'm going to take my Fern Waverly chalk paint. I'm going to paint the entire top section and then just a little bit of the inside and the bottom with that color and leave the rest natural. I'm going to cover it with polyacrylic and then add my succulent. Isn't that beautiful? Scarves from the Dollar Tree, and I picked ones that were kind of spring summer colors, lots of blues, pinks, you know, turquoise, that kind of stuff, and they're so pretty. You guys, I can't believe, look at this one with the butterflies. Anyway, I'm going to take out my square and I'm going to like hold the scarf long ways, and I'm going to measure 10 inches, and I'm just going to cut each one of these scarves till I get however many pieces I can out of this that are each 10 inches long. And there was pretty much 6 for each scarf, more or less. One was a little shorter. And then I'm just going to take each piece in, and there's 3 sections in this little 8-inch wreath form from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to start with the 2 inner rows or circles. And I'm going to do one at the beginning of each section of those 3 sections. And then I'll take the next one. So I started on the outer 2 rows, and then I'm going to go alternating to the 2 inner circles. So if it was like 1, 2, 3, and you were counting from the out going in, I'd start with 1 and 2, and then I'd go around and do that in each section, and then I'd go to the one that is 2 and 3, and I just do that all the way around until I fill up the wreath. And if I have any left, I'll just kind of look and see if there's any gaps and just stick them in there. And it's just such a pretty scarf wreath. It's like a rag wreath type thing. And then I'm going to fluff it. I'm going to keep doing that. And I'm not going to tie like a double knot, just a single knot, because they stay right in place. Now you could leave it just like this, but I decided first I'm going to turn it over and take a little piece of twine and just make a hanger, attach it to the wreath frame. And then I've got this round piece of wood, and you could use anything. You could use a sign that's already done, but I decided I'm going to take that blue and white nautical twine or coastal twine, and I'm just going to glue it on the back and just start rolling it around. And I didn't even need glue until the very end, but you could kind of do this in any design you want. You could start in the middle and go like spirally around. I just decided to do it around the entire thing. So yeah, I probably used too much of the twine, but I was okay with that. And so you can see what it's looking like. When I'm done, I'll cut the end, and then I'll just tie it to the back side to another piece of the twine. Then I'm going to attach 4 little pieces of twine. Like picture if that round piece of wood was a clock. So I'll do 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And I'm going to tie a piece, maybe about 4 inches of twine to it. And that's how we're going to attach this to the wreath frame. So once I get all 4 of those pieces on, I'm going to hold them to the center on the back, push them through, turn the whole wreath over, and then pull them out and tie them to 4 different places on the wreath form at those same kind of clock points so that it attaches. I hope this makes sense the way I'm describing it, but you also can see it. So I think this will make sense too. It was the best way for me to come up to attach it. I didn't really want to glue it. So I'm just going to fluff it, and that's it. Super easy. Let me know what you think. This gorgeous kind of batik pattern, I guess, scarf from the Dollar Tree. And then I've got a purse that was gifted to me by my stepdaughter. Beautiful Coach purse, which I would never buy for myself, but I do love it. So anyway, I thought it's like a navy blue. You can hardly tell it looks black on this picture, but it's really navy blue. So for summer, I thought if I took this scarf and I would go straighten it all out, long ways, and then I would go to the very center of it. And I take that center part of it. So right now I'm just figuring out where the center is. And once I've got the center, then I'm going to start up at the top of one of the handles. So I'm going to bring it up to the center of the handle, and I'm going to start wrapping the scarf all the way around on one side down to where it meets the purse. once I have that side done, it'll just sit there now, and I'll go back to the middle, and I will wrap around to the other side. You just want to hold it taut while you're doing this so that it doesn't get too loose. The idea here is you're making like a decorative handle, and I wish this scarf was just a teeny bit longer because it would have made a cuter bow, but you know, you got to work with what you have. So that's just a note to self. Maybe if I could have attached two of these scarves to each other, I would have really ended up with something cute. But I love it. I do love how this, you know, dressed up this otherwise just basic color purse. So I'm going to now tie. It was longer on one side, so I decided to pull the bow over to the side and just make a simple shoelace bow. And then I'll fluff it like crazy because it did come out rather small, but it also won't get in the way, which is nice. And when I set the purse down, it won't hit the ground, the bow won't, so that's nice. So I'm just going to fluff it a little bit in several times because, you know, it takes a little bit, and twist it around to get it to lay just the way I want. But think about this. You could do this literally for any time of year, different colors to match your outfit if you were into, you know, doing matching things with your bag. I don't have a lot of purses. I'm just not someone who's into that. So this would be a nice way for me to make a purse kind of match with something. So I thought I would share it because I thought it was a really cute idea. Let me know what you think. And honestly, it could not be easier. This for a while. I'm using some of the larger paint stir sticks as well that I think I got them at Lowe's. And I'm going to get my brush wet with some water. I'm just going to spray it down a little bit because I want to water down the antique wax from Waverly because I'm not looking for a hard stain since this already has a stain on it. I just want to try to make it look a little darker because I'm going to be staining the paint stir sticks. And I'm going to use my Titebond glue, and I'm going to attach two of the stir sticks together. I'm also going to add a couple dabs of hot glue so it'll hold now while I'm trying to finish the project. Then I'm going to take those stir sticks and I'm going to place them on the back so that just the handle is sticking up, and I'm just going to hot glue those because it's going to be secure enough with that. And I found these Waverly adhesive stencils at Walmart. I love them. Oh my gosh, it's the only time I've ever not bled in a stencil. And I'm going to use the pineapple, and it just sticks right down, which is wonderful. And you can reuse them too. They're easy to clean. I'm going to use my maize color, which is like a yellow Waverly chalk paint. And I'm just going to dab on with a sponge brush all through the pineapple. And when it comes to the stem of the pineapple, I'm going to use actually an Arteza marker and just kind of dab it in there as well. And then the satisfying part, peeling off the stencil, and look how good it turned out. You guys, that's the best I've ever done. And then I used a baby wipe and cleaned off the stencil, so now it's ready to use again. And I'm going to create these little edging pieces that I'm going to place on the four corners, and I'm going to use that maize color and dab it on, and I'm just loving the look. It's just such a nice finished look, and I can't wait to hang this in my kitchen. I've always wanted these little cutting boards with the handles, and they're very expensive. So for this one, I mean, this is nothing. I decided to try to get the handle to match better with the cutting board, and so I added a little bit of the yellow, almost like wiped it on like a stain, and that did kind of help a little bit. I think if I started with the yellow, I would have been better off. And now I'm just putting some Mod Podge over the top to seal it. And then I have this rope from burlapfabric.com, which I will link down below. I love the light color of it, and I am just going to hot glue and wrap it around about 3-4 times, and then I'm going to cut it off at the back, and that'll be, you know, enough of that. And then I'm going to make a little hanger in the back that you can't see on the handle. That way I can hang it in my kitchen, and I just think it's going to be so cute. And my favorite way is to put the rope on with hot glue and then add a little bit of masking tape with some glue underneath it and just trim the sides, and that seems to hold those on really well. Let me know what you guys think of this one. Of the paint stir sticks, which I'm going to cut down with my miter shears. They're in my Amazon store, great tool. Would have to use a saw otherwise to cut these down. And I'm just marking them so that they'll all be the right size. And I end up with 4 of them, and I'm going to glue 2 together and then the other 2 together. and then I'm going to glue them to each other on the sides, and then I'll get a thicker handle because I'm going to take this bamboo cutting board and I'm going to place it horizontal so it's the long ways across. And now I'm just going to outline where the stir sticks are going to go for the handle, use my tight bond glue, and then after I spread it on, I'm going to put some hot glue all the way around the edges so I get that fast hold while the tight bond is doing its stuff and drying overnight, and that way I can keep working. I decided to try painting that maize color on the bare stir sticks first to see if that would get me closer, and then do the antique wax over the top of that. Just wipe it on with a little baby wipe. And you know, I actually think that worked better, and I will do that in the future if I use one of these bamboo cutting boards, and it matches better the stain. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. And I'm doing the back the same way, put the yellow first and then this wax over the top of it. And now I'm going to do the cutting board just very lightly because I do want to make sure it gets a little bit of that brownish color in there. And now I'm going to get out my stencils again from Waverly, the adhesive ones, and I'm going to take these little pond leaves and I'm going to use my Kills white primer and I'm going to dab that on, and I'm going to put one in the bottom left corner and one in the upper right corner, kind of facing the opposite direction. And then I have another stencil, which is also by Waverly, but they're made out of cardboard, so you really have to be careful. So if you notice, as I'm dabbing, I'm holding down the opposite side with a pencil to make sure that it doesn't bleed. And actually, it worked out pretty well. It's just a little more effort. Take it off, and there's a little break in it, so I just took a little art brush and I filled that in. And I'm going to cover it again with Mod Podge, and I'm going to wrap the rope around just like I did in the other one, and this one's done. And you guys, I love it. Square at Dollar Tree. I really love it. I didn't end up using it as a mason jar. And then I've got this plastic cathedral window from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take the twine out of the top of the mason jar, and then I'm going to put the window over it. So I'm going to draw some lines so I know where to cut on the mason jar. I'm going to take my tin snips. This is a tool that I got on Amazon, and let me tell you, if you have arthritis or not strong in your hands, this is a wonderful tool. It came off like I was just cutting scissors, and it's a very sharp edge, so be careful, and the scraps that come off of it are sharp, so again, be very careful. And so now I want that to be what you see when you look through the window. I'm going to take off that little cardboard side. I'm going to use my heat tool to heat up the glue and pull it off, and then I'm going to use a scraper tool to get the rest. I'm going to sand the entire front and sides of this because I'm going to paint it with my linen white Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I want this to look very farmhouse, and there's grain on that plastic, so it already kind of has a wood grain, and that makes it look a little distressed. Now I'm going to position what's left of the mason jar, which is most of it, on the back. I'm going to hot glue all the way around the edges. I don't want you to see the glue through the front of the cathedral window, and it's so light. Just the edges is great. But I didn't estimate there's still a little hanging over. Well, guess what? Those tin snips worked so well. I literally just went over that top part that's still sticking out, and it came right off. It was so easy. Honestly, this is a great tool to have in your arsenal. It's always in my Amazon store too, because I use this thing a lot. I'm going to take some hot glue and just put it over those very sharp edges to dull them, and that really works, and you don't really see it, but it keeps it safer. And I left the little hanger on there in case I want to hang it up. There it is. That part's all done, and that's pretty just the way it is, but I decided to take some greenery I had from Amazon and make a little swag. Now you could tie this together, or you could just glue it together like I did, and then glue it right on there. And I'm not going to use that flower you see to the left, even though it would be very pretty. I decided to go for these pink peonies that I also got on Amazon because they're just gorgeous and they match with some of the stuff I already have. So I cut off the stem, put a generous amount of hot glue, and glued it right there in between that greenery. You could decorate this any way you want, however it matches in your decor. I just love that pink peony. And that peony came with these cute little kind of pinkish greenery pieces, so I cut some of those off and put one on either side. And that's it. This was so easy and it's so beautiful. It's probably my favorite today. You have to let me know if you like it too. actually two pieces of their metal, this cute little metal wreath welcome sign and the bottle cap one. And I got those both in the crafter square. I've got these, I think they're ranunculus, and then also these blossom ferns from the Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to do is take out the twine at the top of the welcome one, and I'm just going to take a fine art brush and I'm going to paint the word welcome in my linen white Rust-Oleum chalk paint. I'm going to leave the rest of it silver. So there you go, I did 2 coats. Now I'm going to start pulling off some of the greenery off of that blossom fern. I'm going to take 4 pieces and just kind of position them on the inside of the bottle cap. And I will hot glue them down just however I think would look pretty. There's really no right way to do this. I'm going to take some of those little blue flowers off of there. I'm just going to put them around. And I do need to put that welcome sign over it so I can see what's going to be blocked and what isn't. So I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm just going to go around and hot glue that top metal piece to the bottle cap bottom. And I'm going to do it in about 4 or 5 places just to get it on there nice and secure. There's nothing heavy. I'm not worried about it bearing any weight. So this should be pretty simple to do. I'm going to take off the little, I always want to call them baby tulips, but I think they're ranunculus, and I'm probably even saying that wrong. I'm going to take the leaves off, and I'm just going to take the little bud, and I'm put it in those 3 holes on the very bottom, just because I love the bright yellow, and I just think it looks really cute with the blue. Then I'm going to go back to those leaves. I'm going to take 2 and kind of put them on the bottom of those little yellow flowers, and one going one way and one going the other. And then I'm going to cut the third one into 2 smaller leaves and have them pointing like downward. You'll see here what I'm doing. You see how I'm just cutting a leaf shape out of half of it, and I'll hot glue that down. I'll do the same thing to the other piece. If you are enjoying this video, I hope you will hit that like button to let me know to make more content like this. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love to have you here. I really enjoy your company and it's such a fun community. We all chat with each other and I know you will feel so welcome here. And be sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. So I'm looking at it, it's a little off center and I'm actually okay with that. I liked it at a diagonal. I'm going to go back and get some more of those blue flowers. I'm going to put some more where there's an opening and at the very top where there's a few holes, and that's it. Talk about easy, and it's so cute. You could even put this on a big wreath right in the center. I think there's a lot of options with this one. If you have a small space too, that'll be nice. I love their lingonberry jam. It's my favorite. Anyway, this one, the label's a little tough. So I used my heat gun from Amazon on this one. And then later I realized it would have been better to soak it in water and then use my little Cricut scraper that I'm doing now. It actually goes faster than the heat tool. So there's a little tip for you. Soak your jar in like soapy water and it'll help come off much, much easier. I did get it off, and then I'm going to use a little bit of Goo Gone, and I'm going to rub off any adhesive that was left behind. This is a nice size jar, and I end up with quite a few of these. Like I said, it's the one jam that I really like. I'm not a big jam person. Also back with some alcohol because of the stickiness. I want to make sure, and the greasiness of the Goo Gone, I want to make sure that's all gone. I have a bunch of skewers from the Dollar Tree. Saw this on Pinterest, and what it is, it's sort of like a zigzaggy design. So the first thing I'm going to do, I figured out how many I need by just putting a string around the jar and then laying it out and then seeing how many skewers fit across it. So that's how I ended up with these skewers. So it'll be individual for your jar. And then I clip them so you see how it goes down like a V, and then the next one will go up and then down. It just zigzag. So what I did is I cut pieces from each of those little segments that I put together that were all those sizes, and I wrapped them up with twine so that I wouldn't lose my pieces. Then I opened one at a time, and I used my square ruler to put them in the right order of size, as you see here. Somehow when I was putting some of them on, I don't know how I did it, but I got some of them out of order. Whatever, it still came out cute. But if you really want it to be right, you'll just have to be super careful. I thought I was being careful, but apparently not. So I'm going to use some hot glue, and I'm going to start with the first one. And I'm lining them up on the bottom of the jar and then adding the next one, trying to go in the order of the design. And I'm just going to keep doing this with all those little bundles until I get it all the way around the jar. And it's such a cute little way to turn this basic jar into something very decorative. So I'll just let you watch. You can see I'm just going to do the same thing over and over. and there's one complete set. And there I am partway through. If you look closely, you'll see where my design got a little wonky. And there it is. I'll just make sure the good part is facing forward. And then I'm going to take my little nippers. I'm going to clip any pieces that were sticking out too far on the bottom because I want it to sit straight. Then I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint and just kind of heavy dry brush all the way around it. Once that's done, I'm just going to tie a little ribbon around it that I had, and I'm going to put some peonies that I got on Amazon inside, and I think this is gorgeous. I just think it looks so pretty. It's kind of like modern farmhouse kind of boho. What do you think? Plank from Dollar Tree actually has a little twine attached to it, and I don't even have to take it off this time because we're only going to paint on the front and the sides. I'm going to take my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint and I'm just going to paint over each of the planks and around the edges and those little inside pieces you see. I don't even need to do the back on this one. Then I'm going to go around each of those edges because it was a little splintery, and I'm going to use a nail file from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to get in there and fix that. Then I'll take my little sanding sponge from the Dollar Tree and I'll lightly sand the front so I can lay down the decal without any little paint bumps. I'm only going to use one of those flowers. So I'm going to lay down some Mod Podge over the front. And then I'm going to take the decal and I'm just going to place it right on top. And don't worry about those slats. We will deal with that in just a minute. I'm going to take an X-Acto knife and I'm going to go in between those slats, and very slowly and very carefully I'm going to start cutting right at the edge. Sometimes you have to stab the little point just to get it started, because if you push too hard, it might rip. So I just go super slow. See how it's lifting up, and then I push it back down, and I just go really carefully. So I'm going to do them all on one edge first, and then turn it around and do the second side where you can remove it. So I'm showing you here when I'm doing both sides and how easy that just comes right out. I'm going to do that with all of the slats. Now that I've done that, I'm going to go in with my nail file again, and I'm just going to lightly sand so I can get off any excess paper from that decal that was there. And I'll do that in every single one of the slats. This is turning out gorgeous. I love that look with the slats. I'm going to cover the whole thing in Mod Podge just to seal it, and also go over those edges in case there's any like little fibers from the decal that are sticking up. This may be my favorites, but I think this just turned out beautiful. I'm going to take some greenery that I have gotten from Amazon a while back, and it should be in my Amazon store. And I'm just going to cut little pieces and position them where the greenery on the decal is, kind of bring it to life and give it more of a 3D feel. I think by doing this, it really adds a lot to kind of otherwise flat crafts. I just think it just gives it just that extra oomph, and it's a little more high end. Let me know what you think, or if you've ever done it. It's really a nice, easy thing to do, and I just think it's, like I said, it just brings it to life. And I think this one is just beautiful. It matches with so many things in my home too. You'll have to let me know what you think about it. It's tied for favorite. I've got this Faith does not make things easy, it makes things possible scripture, and I've got that beautiful flower wall decal, and then I've got this sign from the Dollar Tree. Now on the front, I'm just going to pull off that rabbit. I'll use it next year for Easter. I'm going to use that Amy Howard at Home One-Step paint, and it's like an off-white. I think it's called Bajas, and I'm just going to do a coat on the back side of this, and it's not too heavy. I'm going to lightly sand so it's a smooth surface. Then I'm going to take some craft paper, and I don't even care if it's wrinkled from inside a package. I will reuse it, and I'll hot glue around the edges and just create a backing for my sign. And then all I do is trim around the whole thing, and there you go. Now it's nice and clean. I'm going to take that beautiful flower, and I'm just going to put it kind of towards the bottom at an angle, and I'm just going to press that on. And this one is sticky enough to go on without Mod Podge underneath it. Then I'm going to take my little blade, and I'm going to go around the edges on my cutting mat and get rid of anything that was hanging over. I've got these other decals and I'm going to cut them out section by section because I want to place them the way I want to. It wouldn't have fit on the sign. It's way too long. So I'm going to start with the word faith, and that's going to go up on the upper left-hand corner. Just going to press that on. Again, don't need Mod Podge for this. Then for it does not make, I'll just put that piece right up next to faith, and then things easy just below it. And then it makes them just below that, but to the left, and then possible to the right below that. And I will add the reference Luke 1:37 in the bottom right. Kind of funny, I was talking to my really good friend Leonette from DIY Beauty on Purpose, and I'm also doing something that she loves to do. She makes a knot out of something thicker than, let's say, the hole on the sign was, and you kind of trim it down and you hot glue it on the front over the hole. I love when she does this, and I thought, I'm going to try this. And I'm using this mop head piece of like rope, if you will. I'm going to put those over the little holes, and so I couldn't have got that through those holes. This was too thick, so this is the perfect solution. And then I'll go ahead and just hot glue it on the back where the holes would be so that it looks like I put that through those holes. And then I hot glued it down. I always add a little more hot glue and some masking tape just to secure it. And there you go. So thank you, Leonette. And you guys, I'll have her channel link in the description box. You will love her. I'm sure you already know her. Anyway, didn't this one come out cute? I absolutely love it. Let me know what you think. Decals from the Dollar Tree. They're gorgeous. I've got these little pieces of wood that I had ordered on Amazon, and I'm just going to make 3. I'm going to use the Amy Howard at Home paint, and I think the color is called Bajas, and I'm just going to paint a coat of the white on the top of each one and around the edges. Don't need to do the back. And we're just going to make 3 coasters, and I just think that's enough. I have so many coasters in my house, I really don't need a whole bunch of them. But I thought this would be such a cute thing for like spring and summer. I love the butterflies. Once I've got them all painted, I'm going to just randomly pick each of the kinds of butterflies I have here and let them hang off the edge, be angled, whatever I think looks nice. If you're kind of a symmetrical person, you could put them on differently than I did. I like them kind of just wherever. I wanted to almost look like they're in flight, and that's why you don't see all of them. They're kind of off the edge. We will trim that after, but I'm just having fun placing them wherever I want. That's what I like about things like this. There's not a right way. It's just whatever you like. That's what creativity is all about. It's just going with the flow. Like, I'm deciding this as I'm making it, and that's part of the fun for me. If it's too planned out, sometimes I don't enjoy it. It depends on the project. Some of them you really do have to plan out, but this one you can just go kind of crazy and whimsy and have a great time. And I hope that you get to do that. I hope you don't feel pressured or like, you know, this needs to be so complicated or hard. Crafting can be fun. It just can be relaxing and fun. And I don't know about you guys, but I need relaxation. I do not do good with that. I don't chill out very well, and crafting helps me with that. Let me know if you have that same issue. So there they are, all 3 of them. I'm going to put them on my little cutting mat, turn them over, and I'm going to grab my little blade cutting thing from Amazon. I love this one because the handle is so easy to hold. Especially if you have arthritis or carpal tunnel or anything, it's really kind of like ergonomically comfortable. So I'm going to do that with all 3 of those until all of the edges are flush. There they are. I love the way this looks. I think the gold with the blue is gorgeous against the white. I'm going to then take them outside, and I'm going to spray some clear acrylic on them and let that dry. I want them to be covered because we're going to put glasses on them, and if they sweat, you know, I want them to be okay. So I put about 3 coats, and there they are. And then I've got these little felt, little baby rounds. I'm going to put 4 on each one so that they don't scratch any surface, and that's it. These came out so cute. This could not be easier. What a great gift idea, don't you think? I think this would be fun. And also then you could have coasters for all the different seasons and just for when you change your decor. And it was so inexpensive. You definitely have to let me know if you want to give this one a try. I thought these were the cutest flowers. They're almost cartoon-like, you know, and that they're really cute. And I've got this little mini cutting board from the Dollar Tree, and you guys know how much I love cutting boards. I think I'm starting to have too many. I don't know. I may have to cut back. I can't stop myself, though. I really like them. I sanded it all the way around. It was a little rough. And then I sprayed it with my mister. Got that on Amazon, too. And then I'm going to use the burnt umber apple barrel paint. And it looks like there's a lot, but I'm going to use all of that for the entire thing. I'm just going to get my brush, saturated with it and keep drawing from the front and going around the edges. And then I'll wipe off the excess. And actually I did the back separately. I just realized that. And I will do that afterwards once this is dry, and then I'll just do the same thing. So here it is, all done. And it's so cute. It looks like stain, and it was paint, no smells, nothing. I'm going to put some Mod Podge over it before I add the little decals. These decals are so versatile. I have so many of them. If you guys like this, let me know, because I could make many more videos using them. So I'm going to put this big flower and I'm going to let it hang over the edge, and then a couple of the little flower petals I'm just going to set right on there. Now these are kind of thicker decals, so they didn't want to lay down as flat, so you'll see I had to kind of like get my brush underneath, make sure there was extra Mod Podge. I even took my finger and kind of pressed down to make sure that it would stick. Whatever it takes, we'll make it work. And then once I get this all over the top and part of the sides, I've got that edge hanging over, and I want it to be on there, so I'm going to fold it over and kind of make that crease a little sharper, putting the Mod Podge underneath and over. And then, because it won't lay flat because it's like a curved little edge, I'm going to take scissors and I'm going to cut one little slit right where kind of like the corner of that cutting board is, and that way I can lay it down. And you'll see here it takes a little bit and some pressing down, but eventually I get it to stay. I think the stickiness just isn't enough for this cutting board, so that's why I had to use so much Mod Podge. On the other ones it didn't require quite so much. You see how I'm just pressing that in as hard as I can, and I'm just going to put a lot of Mod Podge over it. And I didn't want to use the spray for this one because I needed the brush to help press it down, and the spray wouldn't have been able to do that. So here we are finishing up with the Mod Podge, and now it's finally laying down, and I'm just going to wrap a little of that golden white twine around it, and I think it's so cute, and it's going to look great with my little cutting board display that I keep changing up and adding to. How many cutting boards do you guys have? I think at this point I have at least 15, maybe. I don't know. There's so many. It's kind of getting crazy. And then I had an old Pringles chip container. I'm just going to cut off the elastic with the little balls. I'll save those in case I need them for something else. And then I've got this gorgeous wall decal, and I'm going to try to position them on there so I can get as much as possible on those paddles. I'm going to trace around it on both of them, and then I will just cut it out with my scissors. This is such an easy thing to do too. You can do so many things with these, just tracing them on there, and you get that beautiful pattern. I painted the back white, and I'm going to sand it very lightly so it's smooth. And then on the other side, I painted around the edges just in case you might see the side when you put the wall tile on. Now, it wasn't long enough to go all the way, so what I'm going to do is paint that little bottom portion white. It's actually not even going to be noticeable in the long run, so I just figured I'd just paint it white. I'm going to take some scissors, and my X-Acto knife actually worked better for cutting off the remaining. It's a little thick to sand it off, so I think the X-Acto knife is your best bet. And I don't think I mentioned, but these are going to be bookends with planters on them. I've got some scrapbook paper that matched really well with that wall tile. So I measured, how long. I cut that Pringles can in half and figured how long I'd make them the same. And I'm just going to put the scrapbook paper on with some Mod Podge. And I'm just going to do it in little sections. So I'll just lay some down, start my scrapbook paper, press it really firmly, and then I'll kind of roll it back and do some more and just keep going. It's really easy to do. It's just Mod Podging in the round. So just got to be careful you stay with those edges. Once that's done, I let some hang over because there's no real finish to the part I cut. I cut little slits. I'm just going to Mod Podge them down, and that covers the end. The other end has a metal piece around it. And what I'm going to do is Mod Podge both sides of that paper I put on the inside, and then take some gold metallic paint and do the very bottom metal so it's not silver metal. And then I put some white and gold twine around the top. And one side has a bottom and one side doesn't, so I took an old ribbon spool and I pulled off that, top piece. I glued all the way around and just set it right on there, and that gave me a bottom. Now, that did make it look different than the other one, so I just did the same thing to the other one, so they'd look the same. Now, I'm going to take my paddles and I'm going to hot glue, a lot of hot glue on the sides of the little planter, and my goal is to have the pattern side of the paddles towards the planter. I'm going to put some foam on the inside of the little planters, and I'm going to use some gorgeous flowers that I got from, I believe, Dollar Tree. If not Dollar Tree, it was Hobby Lobby, and then I got some of these other greenery pieces from Amazon. Now I've got bookends that are adorable, and they're so functional. I love it. Let me know what you think.
Remember me, I remember you. I've been thinking about you more than ever.
Are so cool. This one had 4 in this pack that you could use, or actually you got to cut it out if you want to make it 4. So that's what I'm going to do. And then I've got this cute little palette from Dollar Tree that has a hanger on it already. It's just like a mini one. And I'm literally going to paint the whole thing with my Sterling linen white chalk paint. I don't even need to paint the back, honestly, because it's going to hang on the wall. But I do paint the sides and those little pieces that you see underneath, because I do want to make sure that it just always looks white. But the back is the natural wood is a nice finish. And now I cut out that one piece, and I'm literally going to figure out the center, take off the backing, and just place it right on the center. I'm going to take some Mod Podge, and I'm going to cover the whole thing, and I use the matte Mod Podge. I'm just going to dry it real quick with my heat tool from Amazon. I've got some little greenery pieces that came off a pick from the Dollar Tree. And then I got these beautiful roses. I believe those are probably from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to hot glue the little greenery pieces right to the bottom. I'm basically making a swag. I didn't tie these together because they're very light and I know the hot glue will hold them. So that's what I decided to do there. And once I get both of the pieces on there, I'm going to take just one of the rosebuds and one of the little leaf sets that comes with it. And I will hot glue the little leaf. You know, they come together. They're like attached. There's like 2 or 3 leaves on there. I'll hot glue that in the middle and then hot glue the little rose right to the center of that. And you'll see what I'm doing right here.
I've been thinking about you more than ever. I guess I'm lonely. I'm starting to grow old, and I thought my youth would last forever.
I think those leaves are really pretty. That's why I wanted to keep them on there. This is the darker green against that lighter green. And then I'm going to take my little clippers and I'm just going to cut off the little pointy part on the back of the rose. I'm going to add hot glue there so it doesn't come apart, and then make sure I have enough hot glue there also to attach it right in the center of those 3 larger leaves.
Take me back to when we were kids and didn't care if we were acting stupid, 'cause all we had was us. If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know.
That's it. So easy, and this might be my favorite today. You'll have to let me know what you think.
I don't have no time to waste. I'm trying to come back to you because now I see we were.
And these are rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. Now, I cut out a few of the words that said spring and one that said tiptoe through the tulips. I guess I just didn't particularly like that one. And what I did was I left everything else on there that I really liked. And I kind of positioned to see if it would fit on the cutting board. And then I laid it exactly where I wanted it. And then I took my little scraper tool and I had to go over every single part. So this was a little time consuming, but oh my gosh, you guys, this is so worth it. This looks so high end and expensive when it's done, and it's gorgeous.
I've been thinking about you more than ever. I guess I'm lonely. I'm starting to grow old, and I thought my youth would last forever.
And I took the S from the word spring that I cut off so that I could have it say S for our last name. Took some polyacrylic 1 coat by Minwax, did a couple coats on the top, and that's it. That is all it took, and this looks so gorgeous and so expensive. And that cutting board was less than $10, and the transfer was $1.25. I absolutely love this one. What do you think? Turn that IKEA cutting board over, and we're going to do something different to the back. And so one you can use, during the nice months of the year, and one will be just for the summertime only. I've got these cute little ice cream cone napkins. There were 16 and they were all 2-ply. And then the best way to get rid of the plies is to somewhere on the back, put a little piece of tape, and then it will just kind of pull apart gently. Actually, much easier than if you don't use a piece of tape. I'm going to lay down some Mod Podge on the surface where I'm going to put that napkin. And then I'm just going to try to center it the best I can. And I'm going to lay that napkin down very gently with my fingers. And once I have it in place, I'm going to get out my brayer. Because it's not wet on the top, I can roll the brayer across. Then I'm going to lay down some Mod Podge on the top, and it's being very careful to mind the ends and make sure that they lay down. I did actually get it a little too wet at the top on the right, and I have to do a little repair, which is kind of cool because I can at least show you how I did it. Just cut off a piece of a napkin, and I'm just going to lay it right over it and put some Mod Podge on it, and it fixes where it kind of smudged up a little bit.
Take me back to when we were kids and didn't care if we were acting stupid.
I'm going to use some Dollar Tree twine, and I'm just going to line the little diagonal lines on the cone, kind of bring it to 3-dimensional. I love doing that. So just very carefully, I'm going to glue down little pieces of the twine and cut them off when I reach the end. And I'll go back and forth so they almost look like they're interwoven. You'll see here in just a second.
Stupid, 'cause all we had was us. If I close my eyes and think about us.
There you go. And I love that look. And then I've got this really cute kind of, I don't know, I guess you would call it like an ombre yarn. It's very thin. I believe I got it from Walmart. And I'm just going to line the outside of the ice cream. And that also brings that to life. And I really love it. I think it came out super, super cute. Then I've got some ribbon from the Dollar Tree. There's some rickrack ribbon and then like a plaid. So I'm going to use 2 pieces of the plaid, 2 of each the pink and the blue rickrack. I'm going to make a messy bow where you just crisscross them. And I put a little piece of that very fine pink yarn underneath it. I'm just going to tie off a knot and then wrap it around to give it a little bit of a center. And then I'll knot it again, and I'm going to put a dab of hot glue on it and set it right on the neck of the cutting board. And that's it.
I can see the person I know I should be.
What a cute little summer cutting board, and it's 2-sided, which I love. Do you like to do 2-sided things? You'll have to let me know if that's one of your kind of favorite things to do, like mine. I actually end up using different ones for this, you'll see. And then I've got this cute little sign. I think I got it at Family Dollar. Anyway, I'm going to use this heavy-duty staple remover that I got on Amazon. It's really the best staple remover I've ever used, and it's always going to be in my Amazon store, and that link is in the description box if you are interested. And then I'm going to remove the tag with my heat tool. I'm going to sand where the little staples were, and then I'm going to use my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and I'm going to paint the entire sign. Eventually, I do the back too. Now I'm going to take my Agave Waverly chalk paint, and I'm just going to do the word home. I love that color. It's so fresh, summery. And then I'm going to take the word welcome from that rub-on transfer set, and I'm going to go ahead and set it down where I want it. And then I'm going to start rubbing over it and having the part of the transfer that's on there release onto the surface. Now, I forgot to put Mod Podge down first, and it lifted a little bit of the paint. So as soon as I get this one on, well, actually, after the next little piece, I get that on, I'm going to go back, put the Mod Podge on, and then put the rest of the rub-on transfers. I should have done that first. So just something to keep in mind. If you're just using paint and you painted and it wasn't that long ago, you should probably put some Mod Podge or some kind of a seal down. Just going to rub it on and make sure it's on there good. And here's where I realized that I needed to put the Mod Podge on. And you'll see in a second. Here, it picks up some of that agave paint. So I go ahead and touch that up, and then I put the Mod Podge on, like I said, and then I will wait for that to dry, and then I can put on the rest of my rub-on transfers. I had some of these left over. This is one of my favorite rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to kind of cut out the pieces I want that look like little leaves or vines. And I'm just going to place them in various places around the outside of the wood circle. And I think that's just really pretty. And there's definitely a little bit of the agave in some of them, or at least a similar color. So it really tied this all together really well. I've got this kind of ivy vine from IKEA. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of cut off some pieces, and I'm going to hot glue it to the back, but so that you can see the ivy leaves around the outside. And that kind of turns this into more of a wreath. It is so pretty with those ivy leaves. I just was wondering what I was going to do with it. I knew I had to buy it. It was very inexpensive. And these are very lightweight, so they glue on with the hot glue very easily. I just set a little bit underneath and some over the top. And then after they were all on, I went and added even a little bit more hot glue just to make sure they were nice and solid. I'm going to add a little twine hanger, and that's it. Let me know what you think of this one. Walmart, and I forgot to film it, but I did some very dry brushing back and forth on the whole outside surface of it using my Rust-Oleum linen white chalk paint, and I'm sorry about that. And then I put Mod Podge over the whole thing. I'm going to use these really cute rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to use that part in the middle that has the rectangle around it. So what I'm going to do is cut them out first.
If I close my eyes and think about us, I can see the person I know I should be. 'Cause honestly,
and then I'm just going to remove the backing very carefully, not to touch that transfer part. And I'm going to find out where I want to put it, and I'm just going to secure it on there. And then I'm going to start rubbing, well, first with my fingernail just around the rectangle because it's just so small. And then I'll use my little wood stick and I will rub over, all of the bigger parts of it.
I don't have no time to waste. I'm trying to come back to you because now I see we were meant to be.
Now that I'm pretty sure it's on there, I'm going to slowly pull it off, but if I see any part that I need to go back over, I will quickly set it down and just like I'm doing there, rub over it. And I've got one more that I found, and then I can pull the rest off. And I didn't care if it was perfect because it is kind of a distressed piece. So I'm just going to burnish over the top. I'm going to use some Mod Podge right over the top of that too because I want to make sure that that transfer stays in place and doesn't get rubbed off. I think it looks so cute. I love that transfer. Now I've got a lot of different greenery, some from Pop Shelf, some from Dollar Tree. But at first I'm going to put 2 plastic bags into the bottom of the tin planter because I want to fill it up. And then these gorgeous lavender I got from Pop Shelf, that whole bunch for $3. And then I've got these other ones from the Dollar Tree that I had ordered a case from a couple years ago. I love those. They're hard to find. So I'm just going to cut 3 pieces off of the lavender, one taller than the other 2. And then I'm going to cut some pieces off of the Dollar Tree pick. And I'm just going to kind of arrange them with the lavender, the focal point, and the rest as more accent.
Just tell me where and I'll come see ya.
I'm going to take some Spanish moss that I got at Walmart and just fill up the top of that tin planter. And that way I can kind of shape the, how I want my pieces to go. Super easy to arrange, and I love how it turned out. This was my husband's favorite. Are you ready for more inspiration? I've got another video here I think you will really like. Click on it. I will see you there. You are truly a blessing to me. Bye.